This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
And welcome to Careology, brought to you by Carebag Incorporated with Roxy Brown. And welcome.
Hello, Miss Carol. It seems really weird right now hearing Miss Carol, but I'm sure everyone on WPSL has heard what has happened to our dear friend Cliff, and we just want to send our prayers out to him and his family and wish him the best healing possible. It's going to take some time, and we're rooting for him, and we miss him, and we love him, and we want him to rest. So, Cliff, do not call in because we want you to rest. I know you love me, but we want you to rest. So, welcome to Careology, everyone that's in the sound of my voice. We are so happy for you to be back again this Tuesday. If you're driving and you're tuning in again, welcome, welcome. If this is your first time, welcome to Careology, the science of caring. My name is Roxy Brown, and I'm the CEO and founder of Carebag Incorporated. Careology is a subsidiary of our nonprofit. Our nonprofit Carebag does one thing, and we do it well. We provide access to proper hygiene to our homeless and to our families in need on the Treasure Coast and all the way down to Boca and anywhere it is needed. We've had a lot of requests about going west, but we need the emergency services to do their job first before we can go ahead and intrude on their territory. So thank you for everyone that has been asking. But when we know that it is safe to go for our volunteers to go, and we are asked, as we have been, we will go ahead and look into that. So all the inquiries, thank you, but we need the emergency services to help those people, the floods, the missing individuals. We need to let them do their work first. We do not want to be one of their casualties. I do not want to be one of their casualties. So our prayers and our hearts go out to all the families out there. And if you don't have to know anyone, for 3 days, I didn't hear from my aunt. And she's okay. It was just power went down, the cell tower went down, and it's an awful feeling just not knowing. So imagine you have friends, you have family, and you just don't know. So we need as a nation to come together, lift our prayers and our thoughts to them. And any way you can help, there's so many causes, there's so many people that are doing things. Find a reputable agency that is doing something, call the Red Cross, call the Salvation Army to see how you can help. So I just wanted to put that out there because this is going to take a long time. There's some communities that have lost 300 homes in just one community, and it is devastating. So I'm not going to complain about something blowing off of my fence. That just seems minuscule at the moment. So we just need to give God thanks and just for health, strength, and life and well-being, and just pray for those that are going through what they're going through. So we're just going to do a little housekeeping. Carebag is open on Thursday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. this Thursday for any families that are in need, ages 0 to 100 and plus. Only thing you need to do is come into our office, bring ID, and we'll be able to assist you. And if we can assist you, we will go through one of our partner agencies or any collaborations we have that we can see how we can help you. So I got a little pet. I'm just going to go right into it. I got a little pet peeve right now. I tried to call somebody, Miss Carol, and it was one of those businesses that they have decided to do everything automated. I wish I can see everybody's hand as you raise it. Who is sick and tired of this automated service?
How many ways can you yell representative?
No, how many ways can you yell yes and press one? One for yes, one for no, two for yes. And then when you do all of that, thank you for your call, click. I mean, I don't know what I can pull out again, but I am so frustrated. So, and I know I'm not the only one. So, Adrianne, what do you think? Are you frustrated with that too?
I am very frustrated with that.
So if you have a business and you thought it was a excellent and smart idea to get rid of your phone receptionist or whoever you have answering the phone to do an automated system, you're losing business because I canceled 2 accounts. One list last week and one Monday because of the automated service. If you can't talk to me, you don't deserve my business. That's it. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't want to talk to me. You don't get my business.
But there are some really big companies that.
But you know what? You know what? Let's talk about, okay, all of us, most of us, if you're in Fort Pierce, you have Fort Pierce Utility. But I'm in Port St. Lucie, so I have FP&L. Trust me, when you press, you do get a person. Even Comcast, you keep pressing 0 enough, you get a person. So they know it's frustrating. Even they need to take their clue from Amazon. You don't get automated system. You have the choice of choosing. Do you want an assistant, a virtual assistant? Do you want to talk to someone or do you want to chat to someone? Because they know you don't have the time to talk to little old Roxy. You're losing my business. My pool company lost my business. Oh, yes, they did. Yes, they did. So my money's valuable. My voice, what I have to say, I can see everyone in their car and at home just shaking their head. Go right along. I understand your pain. It is frustrating. And I told my husband, I said, I'm going to talk about it because I was so frustrated this week trying to get something done and it kept hanging up on me. And trust me, I know the difference between 1 and 2, and I know the difference between yes, no, need a representative. I know the difference, and I know I don't have any thick accent or you can't understand me. So if you're doing an automated system, be aware of how your customers feel about it. It is so annoying. You know, I can see everybody just shaking their head. Yeah, true. Belinda, yes, I see Belinda. Yes, you are correct. It is frustrating, past frustrating. So you have a business, or if you have a business and you're thinking that you want to go automated, I just say, please don't. Please don't, because we want to talk to someone the same way you talk to get my business. I want you to talk to me when I have a problem. So keep that in mind. Answering the phone, pressing yes or no for something, that's understandable. But this is what I hate. You can talk to me like a real person. That's what it says. You can talk to me like you're talking to a real person. No, I cannot, because you cannot hear the attitude in my voice.
Or if my question has not been pre-programmed into your
Hello.
computer.
Thank you, Ms. Carol. So be attentive to don't try to cut corners and cut money, because you're going to cut yourself out of a paycheck. So Roxy had to, like Cliff says, the little mama bear had to just stress that out, because I think it hung up on me 4 times. And I was like, okay, they don't want my business anymore. But it's the minute you say you're going to cancel, somebody comes on. Mm-hmm. What can we do to make it better? Get rid of your automated. Well, ma'am, I don't have anything to do with that. Well, until you do, bye. See you. Sayonara, however you say it. But I got it off. So thank you so much. I see a lot of people are agreeing with me. So thank you. But I have Adrianne. Is it Adrianne? Adrianne. Okay. I have Adrianne with me. And Adrianne is the manager at the Treasure Coast Treatment Family Foster Care. And it is Cayuga
Centers.
Hey, I did it right. Yes. Cayuga Centers. Thank you. And I've known you for a little while when you were with another agency. We won't call any names, but I got very interested in this. Everyone's like, oh, Roxy jumped right into this. Yes, because this is a very interesting story. You guys know I love fun facts. And I want you to tell me the story that you know what I'm talking about your agency. Give us a little background and then you can jump into the story.
All right. So first, I just want to thank you so much for having me on today.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you, Roxy, and Careology for allowing us this platform to talk about Cayuga. So Cayuga was founded back in 1852.
Okay.
In Auburn, New York. Okay. And it is the program here is a treatment family foster care program. Okay. So we recruit foster parents and we place children who have been abused, abandoned, or neglected in foster homes. Okay. Of course, as the goal is to reunify children with their parents after they've been given the opportunity to work on their care plan. But how I caught your attention is when I said, a fun fact is it is said that Harriet Tubman has adopted from Cayuga Centers up in Auburn, New York back in the day.
I love that. I know that. See, I love history. So can you elaborate any more on that for us?
That's all that I really know, because I know that that Harriet Tubman is a huge pillar, of course, nationwide, but her proclaimed home is Auburn, New York. And I do know that she did a lot in that community. I went up to Auburn a couple of months ago, and she had her home is there. There's a historical site there for her home. And then they also have like another museum that you can go and get some fun facts from her about her and her existence. But yes, there is, she did adopt 2 children from the Cayuga home.
That is lovely. Show's over. We learned everything we need to learn. I know Miss Carol's looking at me like, what? But that's something that we love. So it's a family treatment center. So let me just ask, I know some people are thinking, well, what about if the families, the moms or the dads or whoever cannot pass that program? What happens?
Well, it's a treatment family foster care program. So we provide the foster parents. Thank you. And we place children in the home. While children are placed in the home, our foster parents receive a treatment team. And that treatment team consists of a therapist and a skills coach and a program manager. And we work together with those foster parents to ensure that placement is secure until that permanency is achieved. So the clinician is going out once a week to work on therapeutic goals with the child that's individualized. And the skills coach is also going out once a week or more to work on specific skills that they need in order to grow and given that psychoeducation as well to the foster parent to understand the trauma that the child has encountered and some of those responses that they're seeing throughout that's coming out in behaviors. So they are really trying to keep the whole family, together and intact until reunification can occur.
Do you ever have any families that just say, I can't do this?
Well, we are new to the Treasure Coast. So we've been in Palm Beach for the past 7 years. And now we're slowly making our way up and we're here in the Treasure Coast. So we have a small number of homes here. And in my situations here, no, I have not run into a foster parent yet to say that they are unable to care for a child in the home because of that support that
I'm
they're
talking
getting.
about families that have their children have been placed. The family just says, I can't do it. The mom and dad just
you mean like the parents, that they're unable. As of right now, no, because of our home size is small, but I know historically, there have been sometimes, but not within our agency. Not yet. Not to say that it cannot happen, but we are prepared because we want to look at it from a collaborative approach, and we make sure that the foster parent does have a relationship with the parents because we want to make it a team effort to get the child and the family reunified if that is the option.
I love that. It's, things are hard. Times are hard. And I see the families coming in. And I think COVID has played such a heavy role on what we're seeing now. So many children have gone through so many things as we were locked up because we were locked up. We weren't at home. We were locked up. We couldn't go out. We had, for the first year, we had the mask on. For the second year, we threw it away. The days when somebody coughed and you slid to the side and you looked at them, now somebody coughs, you just say, excuse me, and keep going. We get into that comfort zone of it. So that was one of my, because we talked about it on the show, that was one of my concerns when I talked with, other agencies that are protective for children. What was happening to these children? Did you find out that during the COVID period, that's when a lot of these things happened?
A lot of family concerns did rise. I mean, family concerns and issues have been there historically. But I do believe that during that time where families were together and, in one unit all day long, some issues were forced to be come to the surface and it kind of bubbled up and it really caused the agencies to have to go in and provide some support to those families. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, one, it's good that you're around. It's just there are many agencies that I know. We've had 4 kids on here. We've had Horizons, just different things, just different agencies, different partnerships, and just we are funded by Children's Services of St. Lucie County, and so the protection of children, is paramount. It is very paramount, and for families that can't take families in, does your agency look for another family member that might be able to take the child in before you step in?
We wouldn't necessarily do that
Okay.
with our program, but I know like our funding agency, who is Communities Connected for Kids,
Okay.
that is something that their agency would definitely try to do. They
Okay.
always try to look for a relative placement prior to foster care, because we want children to be in that least
Yes,
restrictive
area.
placement, and
Are you
usually that
are you
least
court
restrictive
mandated?
as far
As the court says, okay, the child must be removed.
you mean, do we say that,
No,
or
do you get the families that are court mandated?
oh yes,
Yes. So
yes,
that's
yes,
how
yes,
it goes.
yes. All of our kids come through Communities
So-
Connected for Kids. So
Okay.
they've been removed, and they need that placement. And so we provide that stable environment for them once they are placed in foster care.
Well, you know what? It's good because children, I always jump back to the Bible. I always tell people when someone asks you, Roxy, why do you keep doing this? I'm like, God has always asked us to do two things. And he's asked us to look after children, and he's asked us to look after our elders, which are our elderly. And I said, when you can't do that, our society is doomed. That's what I believe. When you can't look at the people that have placed so much into making things better for us and take care of them and have no respect for them, we're doomed. If you can't foster, look after, and just help the young children that are coming about to come into society and do something positive with your life, we're doomed again, because that is our next generation. So we're going to come back right after this message from our sponsor, and we want to learn a little bit more. And we want to ask you, what can we do as a community to help? Go ahead, Cayuga Centers. Thank you. I say it a little stressed for those watching me. I got to get the Cayuga out. What can we do as a community, as a partnership, that we can help to help protect these children? So Careology will be right back with the three diva ladies here in the studio at WPSL. And we'll be right back after these messages. Talk to you soon. If you could reimagine the way you buy a car, what would you do? Make it simple, make negotiations disappear, demand transparency, then experience amazing at your Treasure Coast Lexus dealer. Car Buying Simplified. Treasure Coast Lexus is a proud sponsor of Careology. Every Tuesday at 6:05 p.m., caring and supporting for our community. Car Buying Simplified. Check out your Treasure Coast Lexus dealer. Why call two men in a truck of the Treasure Coast? You want to move your business without moving a single meeting? You want it handled with no fuss. Lots of stuff, no time to move it. You need the pros that care. That's why you call two men in a truck of the Treasure Coast. Family owned and operated franchise. Call 772-236-0827. 772-236-0827. Movers who care. Visit Two Men in a Truck, treasurecoast.com.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
Hello, and welcome back to Careology. This is your How does Cliff tell me? I am the Careologist. I am Roxy, the Careologist of Careology. That's a mouthful. But welcome back to Careology. We are so happy that you're still with us. If you're driving home in this beautiful weather, be careful. If you're tuning in for the first time, we are so happy to have you. My name is Roxy. I'm the CEO and founder of Carebag Incorporated, a nonprofit here on the Treasure Coast and into West Palm Beach. And we do one thing well, which is provide access to our homeless and to our families in need that need proper hygiene, access to proper hygiene. And how do we do this? We do this through our mobile shower units, our mobile hygiene pantry, or through our office that is open on Thursdays between 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So if you need any more information, please go to givecarebag.com. That is givecarebag.com. And it will take you to our website, and you can find all our information. Or if that was just too much information for you to handle, dial 211, tell them you're looking for Carebag, and they'll give you our number, and we'll be happy to assist you in any way that we can. So we are talking to the manager of Cayuga Centers, and they are new here on the Treasure Coast, but they have been around
170 years.
170 years. So that means you have made a name for yourself. You have established what you need to do, how you do it. And I don't think if you were no good, I just put it out there. If you were no good, you wouldn't be around this long.
Exactly.
So we're happy to have you, and we want to just continue. My question to you before we went on our break is, what can we do as a community? Because I'm sure there are things we can do. One, to help. They have something, you see something, say something. So let's first talk about that. How do you see something and say something and know you're correct in doing that without thinking you may be wrong, or you may be putting a child or taking a child out of their safe environment?
Well, I know everyone in Florida is a mandated reporter. So it is just always so important to, if you see a child in danger, you hear a child talking about being in danger, their safety is being at risk, go ahead and make that abuse report so that the investigators can go out and investigate that situation.
Because it's, I think I have seen, oh my goodness, I have seen so much and heard so many stories, and some are horror stories. And we try to let individuals know that we don't want to get it to the point that we now hear it on the news. Oh, only if I should have, only if I had known. Sometimes it's better to be safe
Yes,
than
ma'am.
sorry. Because if you're incorrect, then they would say, okay, someone, if they do know, because a lot of things are kept anonymous. So it's not that you're trying to get someone in trouble. What you're doing is looking out for the well-being of a child.
Exactly.
And I think in our society, so many of us have gotten afraid to speak up that so many children are dying. I have not, so many children are being lost in that. Do you know do you know the stats on the children that are being afflicted by this?
I don't know specific stats, but I do know that there are, the last I checked, like over 1,000 children in the state of Florida are in the Treasure Coast area who are placed in foster care because of, some sort of maltreatment.
And just because a child did something wrong and you punish a child, that is not neglect. That is corrective behavior punishment that you would get, like I got growing up. That didn't turn out too bad. I think it's when you take it to the next level, where the child is now in danger, where you see whelps on that child, or the child can't go to school because the parent or someone in their custody has hurt that child to a point. I just think I am afraid that what I see in our society, people are just afraid now. People are afraid to say anything. And the detriment goes to both our elderly, even though we're just talking about children, but it goes both to our elderly and to our children. And we want people to understand nothing is wrong with, if you have that gut feeling. That gut feeling inside of you, 9 times out of 10 is always correct. If you're thinking about something, then it's not right. But when you have that gut feeling, I shouldn't run the red light because I know I'm gonna get a ticket. That's just, you're wrong. That's common sense. That's not a gut feeling. You run the light, you're gonna get a ticket. But when you have that gut feeling in you, when you see that child, you can see something is wrong with a child. Children look at you a certain way when they are in discomfort, when they're hurt. Children look at you and they have that look in their eyes that says, help me, do something. Don't, where all of us are getting just too comfortable with just not saying anything. And I think that is where the detriment goes. We had the numbers during last year, during the COVID, and there was so many children that were mistreated and abused. And yes, we were locked inside, a lot of things we couldn't see, but it doesn't stop. If they were comfortable doing it, then they're going to do it now. So I think it is just, I just want to get it out to someone. If you see something and in your gut, it's just not right, you're just not feeling this, pick up the phone and say something, because you don't know what, you might save that child. There may be other children in that home, because if it happens to one, it'll go down the line. So just by saving that one, you can save the other 2 or 3. We want people to know that, because I don't think people realize, oh, maybe the child did something. To protect the child is our responsibility. It takes a village. And I think people need to know that and to be well informed of that. So what are some things we can do as a community that we can help our community and our children.
It truly takes a village, especially when it comes to providing foster care placement to children who are in need. So one of the biggest things is that we want to make sure that we have foster homes across the Treasure Coast. That is something that we need. We need people to open up their hearts and their homes to provide a safe, stable environment for those children who are in need, because we don't want to remove children so far from their community. We want to keep children, kind of close to their community so they can remain in their same schools. They can have some of those natural supports that they have from their community, and they're just getting that temporary care until their parents are able to get back on their feet and reunification can occur. So that is one of the biggest things we're doing right now. We're really pushing a recruitment across the Treasure Coast to find those homes. One thing about our program is that once you become a foster parent and you become licensed and you've gone through everything that going through the classes, your background screenings, your home study, everything that you need to go through in order to become a licensed foster parent, is that you are not left alone. We are right there with you. That is why we're the Treatment Family Foster Care Program. And you're going to have a team. The program manager, I make a phone call every day and I say, hey, how was last night? Do you need anything? Do I need to let the skills coach know anything? And I have that daily communication with that foster parent. If they need something, then the skills coach or the clinician, they're either going out to the school, they're going out to the home in order to address whatever that need is. That is why, we are growing, because we are providing something so catered to the individual needs of those families. And what we do is once we get 12 foster homes, then we open up another team so that team of individuals, they don't become overwhelmed with the homes that they're serving, and they can focus on their 12 homes. And we're opening up 12 more homes with another therapist, another skills coach, and another program manager, and we keep growing that way so that everybody can get the attention that they need and the support they need. Our foster parents, we also have foster parent trainers, and they provide ongoing training to our foster parents. We are trained in the ARC model, and our foster parents get that training on the ARC model so that they can understand trauma. That is the biggest thing. They need to understand that all of these children have had some sort of traumatic experience, and how to respond to the behavior responses that they are seeing and the children that are being placed in the home. And I think a lot of times people are a little nervous about becoming a foster parent because they're like, oh my God, well, what if this happens? If you have that team there to help you when that happens, then that kind of takes away a little bit of that worry that
it's
they
called
may
that
have.
safety net.
Exactly.
That safety net is there. You're not falling through the cracks. You're not falling through the
Exactly.
gap. So the cracks and the gaps. So each team consists of 12 families.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So the team that you have, your clinicians, you as a manager just talking, all the training, it's 12. So when that 12 is fulfilled, you go to next. So how many foster families do you have now on the Treasure Coast?
Now on the Treasure Coast, we have let me see, we have one that is fully licensed, and we have about 3 or 4 that's finishing up their process.
Finishing up. Okay.
Yes.
So we're moving along.
We're
slowly,
moving
but-
along. We're moving
So
along.
let's give the number. If someone needed to call you to find out information, they can call. We're going to do the number because this email is really long.
It is.
So we're going to go 561-384-4340.
Yes.
And that is again 561-384-4340. I don't know why I'm having a trouble with my numbers today. But if you have a heart, if this has touched you and you think you can do it, not everyone can do it. Yeah, not everyone can do it. You have a busy lifestyle and you're zipping and running and traveling, then this may not be for you. But if you know that you have a heart that you can, because it takes time to have a child come from their home. A lot of these children, I'm told, think that it's their fault. It's their fault. They want to go back to it. And I know there's a syndrome for it, and I can't remember the name of it. And it's called when someone kidnaps someone, the kidnapper, you know who I'm talking about.
Stockholm
Stockholm syndrome.
Yes,
Thank you. Thank you. You feel that, oh, it's my fault. That psychological plays. So it's not just getting the parents ready. It's getting the child ready.
Exactly.
So it's a lot of work, to move a child. It's a lot of work. Grandparents, grandchildren, they come to you for the weekend. They're missing all of this. They're missing mommy. They're missing daddy. Just imagine when you're removed from that total element. Your mom, your dad, your brothers, your siblings. Because if that happens, do all the children get removed? Or just that one child?
Normally, it is usually all the children in the home that are, yes.
Do you try to keep all the children together?
Yes. And our program, we do try to keep siblings together. That is our goal. We let our foster parents know that up front that we want, them to be able to take in siblings. And most of our homes that have agreed to go on this journey with us have said, like, we will take siblings, like that is. And we are also do like the older children. So we do enhanced treatment, family foster care. So we're doing children who are 4 to 17 years old.
Oh, okay. Wow. Just to think under 4 years old, that just kind of breaks my heart, under 4, that's a whole nother show. So those who are wondering, no, my granddaughter is not with us in the studio today. So, because when she said that, I just clicked, and I had someone ask, me, but no, she's not in the studio today. So, but it's a wonderful work that you're doing. And I think it's something that individuals need to know, because a lot of people think when children are removed, they're just put in any foster care, they're put in the system, but there are places in a home environment and they can see what a normal home looks like. That's what people don't understand. Having them in a home, in a foster care home, is seeing how a mom and dad, or a mom or a dad or whoever goes ahead and communicates with their child. And they need to know that that's normal. The yelling, the slapping, the beating, whatever they're going through is not normal. There is love, there's compassion, there's talking. And our children need to know that. Our generations need to learn that. I always talk about it on here through what I do. It's a generational thing. So your great-grandmother, your grandmother, your mother did it. Now you're doing it. Sometimes you have to find a way where it stops. It was okay. When somebody hit you with a stick 20 years ago, it wasn't okay, but that was the normal. That's not the normal now. We do not go out and take a twig off a tree. We don't do that, people. We don't do that. So we have to learn. And I think I was talking to someone, and I said, the minute a woman finds out she's pregnant, the mother and the father should immediately take up parenting classes. I truly believe that. You said that too? I've always said that. Because there's some moms and there's some dads who just don't know. There's some of them who just don't know. And if they do know, they know what they have learned. And deep down, they know what they learned before, or what treatment came to them wasn't 100% right. When you're feeling it, no, that don't feel right. It is not right. It's just, I'm going to go with the car thing again. You're going through the red light. It's not right. You get that feeling. It's not right. It's not right. And I think that's where we need to look into that. You're going to be a mother and father. Let's get you in parenting classes. Let's let you know how to deal with a child, how to talk to a child, how to raise a child, what to do, what not to do. Yes, that might have happened to you, but you don't do it because my dad did it to me, so it's okay. Look how I turned out. The fact that you're saying that is not a good thing. Look how I turned out. Something's wrong with you. I can say, look how I turned out, because I turned out good. I didn't have abusive parents. My mom used to sit down. I told everyone from the beginning, I'm going to be transparent. My mom used to sit down. If I did something wrong, she used to sit down and say, what did you do? Mama, blah, 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 I did this. And she used to say, okay, when you come home from school, you're going to get a punishment. You're going to get a beating. I think that was torture. But she used to sit down and tell me why I was going to get a spanking. She used to say, this is what you did. This is what you shouldn't have done. This is why I'm going to spank you. Then I had to hug her. Yeah, I had to give her love. You were giving her love. She said, I beat you not because I don't like you. It's because I love you. Love me back. A little weird, but hey, it worked. It worked. I wasn't traumatized, but I knew the punishment. And the thing is, when you take time to calm down, you have to calm down. That's what people don't understand. When your child does something wrong, you cannot react in that moment. That's what my growing up taught me. You had to calm down. You have to give yourself that space. You have to calm down, that when you approach that child to do whatever you're going to do, you, your temperature, your temperament, everything has lessened. So you're able to deal with that and deal with them in a calmer manner. You're not frustrated and hyped up and angry like you were before. That's what that taught me. Some people are saying, oh my God, Roxy. No, that's what that taught me. She had time to calm down while my hysteria went up. But by the time I got it, we were cool. We were mellowed. I knew I was coming. I think the worst mistake I made was putting on Vaseline thinking the belt was going to slide off.
Oh,
I wasn't that smart. Just to lighten the mood a little bit. You know, as you grow up, you learn that no, Vaseline makes the belt sting. So I just want to give everybody a little laughing moment, because this is a serious conversation. And we have so many families, so many children that are being abused, so many children that are going through so much. And you must hear the sounds and the cries of a child next door. You know, come on, people, you must hear the signs and the sounds of wailing and crying next door. When you hear that too much, then something is wrong. Not a colicky baby, but when you hear a grown child and then you don't see them or they're covered up, you need to pay, and bruises. We need to pay attention. You know, we really need to pay attention. Don't be afraid to talk about it. That's what we want to educate. We want to educate our people.
But you want to know the signs. You want to see the signs so that you can make that call. And an assumption, it's not wrong to have an assumption and call 1-800-96-ABUSE. It really isn't. Because
can you say that number again, please?
1-800-96-ABUSE.
1-800-96-ABUSE. Or call 211 for the number. Correct?
Yes.
There we go.
And because the goal is never to break a family apart. The goal is always to provide support to the family.
Well, first, protection of the child.
Protection of the child
is forefront.
The first and foremost. But you do want to provide tools in that home to help whatever that issue is, depending on, you know, what's going on in the home. That's always the first action.
You know what? I say this, I talk about animal shelters when I talk about we have no shelters here for individuals. But if I was supposed to kick my dog, everybody would call. Am I wrong or am I right? I see everybody raising their hand. I can see you in Radio Land waving your hand, nodding your head. You do something to an animal and the calls go out, the police come, you're being locked up, you're going to jail, the cameras are on you. But we hear the cries of a child and we muffle them out because we don't want to get involved. Both are wrong. But, you know, everyone knows I'm an animal lover. Both are wrong. But that's a child. That is a child. Come on, people. That's a child. And we need to be more vigilant in what we do as a community. We need to be able to say, I'm not afraid to make that step. I'm not afraid to put that protection out there for a child, because these are our future.
Yes.
These are our future. My neighbors already know me, Miss Carol. I'm a call. And not only am I gonna call, I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna call. I'm gonna say, Miss Carol, I called on you. And I'll stand there. Wait, that's the house right there. Because that's just how I am. But if you're not like me, you make the call. You make the anonymous call. You don't have to say, I've seen it. You know what? I'm a little concerned. This is what I know, you know, because I've had those calls that as Carebag, we've had to make, you know, and we've made some, and, you know, they've gotten the help. They've gotten family units in. One just a couple of weeks ago, before, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, the child was actually permanently removed from their mother. You know, sometimes I struggle with a lot of things when people come and we get information, because once once you're told about something, you have to report. So if you come to me and tell me something as an agency, I can't sit on and talk about, oh, I'm not sure. No, it doesn't matter. I have to report. And we've reported on different things and a lot of things were cleared up. But this one was real tricky. And just to find out that the child was permanently removed, will not go back to the mother. It's like a sigh of relief. Okay, we did the right thing. The child is okay. We did the right thing. So we cannot be afraid, because behind closed doors, you don't know what goes on.
Exactly.
You don't know what goes on behind closed doors. And I just think it's prudent. Because it's a community.
It is. It is. And it is the community's responsibility to report.
And we can't help. We can't help a child if we don't do what we have to do. So do we have any more commercials, Ms. Carol, we have to do? we have a couple more commercials that we want to go because we want to just say thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to, the Woods family and Treasure Coast Lexus for being the consummate sponsor of Careology from day one. We love them. We thank you for your support. But we will be back with these haunting questions about what we could do as a community to protect our children and love on them. So my name is Roxy. We'll be back after these commercial messages. Thinking of building your next home or renovating? Come see us at Rosa Builders. We will create a home suited for your lifestyle. With years of experience means we give you a complete professional service from a dream to a concept. You will get the best results, best value, best quality is what you get from Rosa Builders. Visit us at groserbuilders.com. You deserve better. You deserve Rosa. Create custom business signage that customers can't miss or resist. Let Design a Sign in Port St. Lucie help you get the job done right. Over 80 years combined experience. Get it right the first time. Call 772-337-4027 and tell them Roxy said to call. Remember, call 772-337-4020. Design a Sign in Port St. Lucie.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
Thank you guys for tuning back in. It is this show is just great. We're learning so much. My name is Roxy, and I am here with Adrianne Huggins, and she is the manager of Treasure Coast Treatment Family Foster Care. And we've talked on so much. But the one thing that we really want to let our community know is this is a community effort.
Yeah.
You see something, say something. Mm-hmm. If you're wrong, then thank God you're wrong. It doesn't hurt to be wrong. In this instant, it doesn't hurt to be wrong. No. But if you're right, that is protection of a child. Mm-hmm. We said we have so many sanctuaries for whales and otters and birds and this and that. And we forget our fellow man. We forget our fellow child, our elderly, our veterans. We forget them. And we want to really put a platform. You see something, say something. And let's pray to God you're wrong. That's the best feeling if you're wrong. When I have to make these calls and I find out, oh, Roxy, was this or was that? When they call me to let me know, I'm like, oh, God, thank you. It feels good to be wrong under these circumstances. But when you're right, you say, okay, thank God we caught it in time. Mm-hmm. Thank God it's not a child going into a coffin. You guys know I keep it real. Because if you don't go ahead and get and put yourself in there for protection, those are the things that can happen to children. So many children are in the ground because of neglect and abuse. So many go missing and you don't know. Years, 20, 15 years later, you find them when somebody excavates to go put up a home or a lake gets drained out. This is real. This is not a story. This is not a Netflix movie. This is real life. And we want to go ahead and let people know how important it is. And they're not going to be going ahead and just be put in a system with no one. We have so many different agencies. And right now we're talking to Cayuga Centers that have been around 170 years. And they've been in it for a long time. So that means they know what they're doing. And they're coming up the coast. They're in the Treasure Coast now. And we're happy to have them. I have known Ms. Huggins, like I said, for a while on a different platform, but I'm happy that she's here protecting our children. So we're going to go back to what we can do. What are the other things that, other than trying to be a foster care, are there other things that you can do? Because I know sometimes they have people that will take children out. What about if you have a child, but you don't have a home for them? What happens?
Okay, so some of the other things that you can do, if you could also be like a respite foster parent.
Okay.
And a respite foster parent is it's like a temporary stay. If we
Mhm.
have a child in a placement and that foster parent, the foster parents that the child is currently placed with, they're celebrating their honeymoon,
Mhm.
then that child can go spend 3 days in that respite home, until
Okay.
those foster parents come back, and then
Oh, so
they return back to their other foster home when
so
those
you
parents come back.
so you have families that are just respite
Yes,
on a temporary basis. I
temporary
like
basis.
that.
So that is
I like
also,
that.
an option where we do have
Okay.
some foster parents, especially down in some of our other program areas that that are there just for respite. And that's such
Okay.
a good time. That is a good opportunity for foster parents who have current placements just to get that break, because
Right.
you want
You
to
need that.
go out
Yeah.
and you want to go on dates and you still want to celebrate with your family, and you have that opportunity to still feel like that child is in another safe environment while you are doing so.
That would be just like today. I needed a break. You have your village. You have some, it's called babysitting. We call it babysitting. You call it respite, we call it babysitting, or I owe you a favor. Because I know she's listening. I owe her a favor. But that's what it is. It's showing the kids just the genuine part of life. Your
Exactly.
mom and dad need to go out, grandma and grandpa need to go out, auntie needs to go out. You have that. They're gonna babysit you. This is where you're gonna go. So, and how are the children that have come through the program? Is your success rate very high?
Oh, absolutely. Many of our youth who've been placed, especially down in our Palm Beach office, is usually a very successful. They're either returned back to their family, back to reunified with their families, or they've been adopted by the foster families and the homes
Wow.
that they've been placed with. So all of the placements have been very successful.
I'd be interested to know, Miss Carol, that 170 years, some of the children that have gone through, have they come back and become foster parents?
You know,
That would be interested to know. I
and
would love that.
one thing that I have seen, a lot of individuals with interest who were
Yeah,
in the foster care system that want to come back and give back in that capacity.
of course. It's that cycle that keeps going around, and it's a good cycle.
Mm-hmm.
We hear, we every minute we're hearing the revolving door of prison, but let's talk about the revolving door of foster care.
Yeah.
You've been through the system. You've had a very good positive outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And from your positive outcome, now you're able to give back and do the same thing someone did for
Yeah.
you. Oh my God, this is like Christmas in a bottle here in October.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect. And you want those feel good, because those are the things we want people to know.
Mm-hmm.
We're hearing all the traumatic stories. We're hearing all the details of the gruesome things that happen, but we want to concentrate on the positive, on the families being reunited, mothers and fathers, grandparents, aunts and uncles learning the right way to basically raise a child, because we're in a different, it's hard. This is a digital age.
Yeah.
This is a different age than from where I grew up. And what you used to do back then, you can't do now.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to readjust, you have to learn, and you have to go with the program. But again, our young people don't know respect. Yes, people, I touched on it. I went there. So we have to learn now, but it comes from home. It comes from the home. I believe it comes from the home.
And it's one of those things that you definitely have to understand the trauma and the responses that come
Yes.
along
Right.
with the trauma that a child has experienced. So to us, to some, it will be like, oh, that child doesn't have any respect, but it's a response to what that child
Has been taught.
and
Yes.
what that child has seen and what has
Mhm.
happened to that child. And now you're seeing it in a way that comes out as, oh my God, that's disrespectful. But that's the only way they know how to
Yeah.
communicate. So that's
Mhm.
why it's important for us to have those conversations with the foster parents on the front
And the
end and
counseling.
provide them with those tools so that they know how to respond in a very trauma informed manner when they are seeing some of those trauma responses from the children. And then we have foster parent support groups so that the foster parents can get together once a month and they can talk about some of those, concerns that they're seeing, and they can share and pair. And we usually have a guest speaker. So as we continue to grow here on the Treasure Coast, another way to help is, maybe sponsoring one of our maybe somebody in the community sponsoring one of our foster parent support groups, maybe providing the dinner or the lunch or whatever we do for that foster parent event for that
A
day.
little getaway.
A little,
Nothing's wrong with being around people that understand exactly what
Exactly.
you're going through. Because
Somebody
I
with lived
couldn't
experience.
understand. I couldn't have a conversation with them. I have questions,
Yes.
but I couldn't have a conversation, and that's where it comes in. But it's just I think it takes a big person to be a foster parent.
It does.
I couldn't do it,
Mhm.
but because I'm not gonna want to give you back.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've loved, my heart is a big heart, and I've nurtured you, I've loved you, I've cuddled you, and I got to give you back. You're not leaving. So I couldn't do it. I know me.
Yeah.
I know my heart. I want you to stay. And but those that can do it and have that heart to say, okay, bye. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow.
It does take a
It takes a
huge
huge
heart
heart. It
because you've
does.
invested a lot. You've
Time,
a lot of
love,
time, a lot of
money.
love, a lot of patience, and you've seen tears, you've heard
Yes,
stories. So it is very difficult, but our foster parents know on the front end
they have
that
to.
the goal is reunification.
Reunification,
And that is
yes.
something that we're very open and
Reuniting.
honest with, very transparent about how the case is going. And they have to be a part of that
Yes.
case planning,
Mhm.
and they have to want to be a part of the biological parent's journey as well.
Yes.
Because I mean, the child placed in the home, they have to see that it's a team. They have to see
Yes.
that this is a collaborative
Mhm.
effort. And most children want to go back home.
Of
Like they
course, they
want to
do.
return to their
The
to
mom and
their
dad,
families.
yes,
They just want whatever that maltreatment is
to
in that
stop.
home to stop.
Yes.
So, throughout the journey, the family and the parent is getting healthy, and the family unit is getting better. Some of those risk factors are demolishing, and now we're placing that, reunifying that child back in that home, and that foster parent and that bio parent. The hope is they're having communication
And they're
throughout
keeping
that
that. So
process.
when the child
Healthy.
goes back, you can make a call. What did
Yes.
you do? How can I help? Oh my God, I'm looking at the time as Carol. Wow. We have 2 minutes left. This
Hmm.
this has been amazing. I always say when my shows run fast and I look at the clock and I'm like, oh my goodness, that means it's a good show.
Hmm.
We have 2 minutes. 1 minute. Is there anything you wanted to tell us that you might have I didn't give you the chance?
Well, we do have an open house
Yes.
October 13th
Yes.
from 2 to 6. And we would love the community to come out to celebrate us being here on the Treasure Coast, and also to celebrate 170 years.
Wow.
Yes.
I love that. I would clap, but I can't clap. So I'm just gonna so I just want to say October 13th. If you want more information about that, please call 561-384-4340. And they'll be happy to go ahead and give you the information. It has been a pleasure
Thank
and
you.
to talk with you and to learn about
Cayuga.
Cayuga. I said it good
Cayuga
the
Centers.
whole time. But it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure to open up, to share with us on Careology on WPSL what you're doing. Welcome to the Treasure Coast.
Thank you.
I wish you the best of success in everything that you do. This is Roxy again with Careology on a fabulous show. I thank everyone tuning in with us on social media platforms, on our digital World Wide Web. And Cliff, we miss you, we miss you, we miss you. We want you to get better. Don't even think of rushing back. We need you to get better. Again, my name is Roxy, and it has been a pleasure. And for those that want any more information about Cayuga Centers, please call 561-384-4340. October 13th is their open house. If you want more information about Carebag, please go to givecarebag.com, and all our information is there. Peace, love. You guys have a wonderful night, and we will see you again next week. I have a rockin' kick behind good show next week, Miss Carol. So you guys tune in next week and come on out and just tune in, listen on all our platforms and our digital web. And we'll be seeing you next week, Tuesday at 6:05 on WPSL.